Big Mike Magaldo, my
Mike,
guy,
Mike Baker.
dude. Appreciate you doing this, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. So we go back a long way. All right, when did
Long.
we start working together? So I was trying to think about this actually earlier today. I started working at Tess in 2011. Was that the year we started working together? Was that your freshman year?
My freshman year was 2011, 2012, maybe right after maybe summertime of my after my freshman year. So we
Yeah.
did that whole summer and then
And then leading into wrestling season,
that's
right?
right.
So 2012,
Yeah,
state champ,
that's right.
Watchung Hills High School, and then state finalist the other
Yep.
2 years, right?
Third place. I took second, first, third, and
Yeah.
then second.
So I guess let's talk about that a little bit. So like wrestling, we talked about this over the last couple of weeks. Like I think we were
Right.
actually talking about it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
The most nervous that I have ever been watching any of my athletes perform is you,
That's crazy.
Atlantic City. Up until I had an athlete playing in the World Series,
Right.
that nothing topped that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that was different because I was trying to beat the same guy all year.
Yeah,
So it was like that my freshman year too.
yeah,
And then it's just one of those sports that like anything could happen. You could beat the guy 2 weeks in a row, and then
yeah,
it's their time the last week, dude. It was
yeah, man.
nuts. It was crazy.
What was that like? Obviously wrestling your whole life. It's a team sport, but
Yeah,
it's an individual
it's
sport.
an
Like you're
individual
out there
sport.
by yourself, man.
Yeah,
And like I think that it just requires such a different mindset than most other sports when you're out there all on your own,
right.
especially something that's physical, one on one against something else. That's different than golf, let's say,
Yeah.
where like it's just you and the conditions and the course and all that. But
I mean, there's some similarities with golf,
yeah,
right? I mean, it's all in your head, but there's nobody like directly trying to stop you,
yeah,
you know? So like, I don't know. It's definitely mental, and I think like being with having the confidence in like your training and stuff, like
yeah,
being able to put everything together and even if you have a bad day, like you got to try to find something to that you did well that day
yeah,
because it's easy to go into like a little spiral,
right.
especially as like a high school kid. So I don't definitely a lot of discipline, and I think that's the biggest thing in I think any whatever profession you're doing,
Yeah.
whether it's a sport or work. I mean, it's
You guys are different.
I think so, but I think at the highest level, everybody has the same mindset.
Yeah,
It's just different. It's a different sport. It's
yeah.
different, you know. Everybody's dieting. Every person that's taking it seriously,
Hmm.
whatever sport they're doing, is most likely taking it to the next level,
Right. Yeah.
So,
I just think that like it's just such a like the wrestling world is such a unique little subculture
yeah,
where everybody kind of knows each
it's like a
other.
cult.
It kind of
Yeah.
is. Like you said it, not me.
No, it
And,
is.
and I always found like so from an X's and O standpoint,
Right.
like how to train wrestlers, right? The
Yeah.
best way to train wrestlers. I always felt pretty confident in that, but I always had a little bit of trouble in kind of cracking through into the wrestling community and being able to communicate because the culture of wrestling is like you go until you can't, and when you think
Right.
you can't, you can, and you
Right.
keep going
Right.
until you're on the floor.
So, definitely, but I think that like when I was growing up, it was a little more like no one cares, work harder, or who cares, everybody's hungry, or
Yeah,
everybody's cutting weight. And now the culture's kind of shifted. Like kids are not cutting weight as much anymore, and I don't want to say it's more laid back, but it's more of like a rather than just having it segmented in practices where it's like work harder, don't care, work harder.
hmm,
I feel like coaches nowadays, and I think what Penn State's doing right now really kind of changed that because how are they so good and they're not beating their athletes down
interesting.
every day. Like they practice. I've never been in the room because
Mhm.
go Pokes, but like, um, but like they practice like an hour a day and they do a lot of play wrestling.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they drill and do like regimented drills, which is actually harder than wrestling, like
yeah,
live.
right.
And it's a lot more laid back now. But now you're seeing like this new style of coaching coming out, and now you got kids that are 18 years old on the senior world team. So
Hmm.
like the culture's changed the whole weight cutting culture's changed. There's still people that do it,
Yeah.
but there's nutritionists now. There's hydration plan, like everything. So like when I was going through it, it was a little more like go run through that wall.
Balls to the wall.
But now these kids will still go run through that
Right.
wall. They just might try to find like a little soft spot in the wall to
Yeah,
run through,
yeah.
you know?
Being a little bit smarter and
Yes.
taking a little bit more of an approach
Right.
than just like banging your head against the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, concussions weren't really that big of a thing. And I mean, I'm not that old, but like, I probably had a few that I didn't
Yeah.
know. And now it's like a big thing, like,
Right.
you know, and it's serious, but the whole way that the sport is coached now is just completely different.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And I'm trying to learn from it because when I first started coaching high school, I was like, who cares? And the kids like weren't really. Some kids would respond, some kids wouldn't.
Yeah.
So like you got to try to find that middle ground where you're not being too soft on them, but
Yeah.
you're kind of being like, okay, hey, let's dial it back a little bit.
Right. And like you say, like it's so interesting to see how different sports go through um, this kind of cycle, right? And
Yes.
they go through this. I guess evolution is the word I'm looking
Yes.
for. Where like football adapted the weight room very, very like a long time ago.
Right.
In the 80s and 90s,
Right.
football players were lifting weights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a sport like baseball, like it wasn't really well accepted until maybe the 2009, 2010, where
Right.
like it started being a part of the culture,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you just and like soccer, it's still not really a part of the culture. They're just starting now within the last 5 years or so, where
What
it's
do they
like
do in
become.
soccer?
Well, I mean, it's just like weight room culture and like getting stronger.
Right.
There's still this, if you're at 5 years ago, there's still this fear that if you get too big, you're going to slow down on the field,
Right.
right? Which there is validity to that. Like if
Yeah.
you're heavier,
Right. Right.
it's going to gas you more.
Yes.
So, but that doesn't mean you still can't train and develop strength and develop
Right.
power and things like that. You just got to be conscious of your body weight,
Right.
right? But it's just interesting to see how, because some of these sports are so segmented in their little
In their little
subcultures,
worlds,
in their
yeah.
own worlds,
Yeah.
that they kind of are learning lessons at different times,
Right.
right? And it's good to see wrestling start to, because wrestling's one I never thought was going to break past that, like just like blue collar, punch you in the face, go,
Yeah.
go, go mindset.
It was always like that, and
Yeah.
I think it's going in the right direction. They're starting to hold these like real wrestling matches where they're pulling like the best guys that just got out of college, or it's on tonight actually.
Mhm.
Against like, I think there's a couple international guys in there, and they changed up the rules, and there's little cones on the side of the mats, and if you
Mhm.
like tap them, it's like a restart or like a point.
Yep.
And it's cool, but like I never thought the sport would be how it is today.
Yeah.
And it's good because the whole weight cutting thing is what turns a lot of people away.
Yeah.
Like I mean, even now, like the sport's changed. People don't know that, but they know from when, like, I talk to parents. They're like, "Should my kid wrestle? I don't want him to cut weight." They're like, "Do you guys still use trash bags?" And it's like, no,
You're not doing that anymore.
no.
Not sitting in the sauna with a trash bag.
I mean, sometimes
I remember you going through that. I remember you going through that,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, sometimes you might have to
Yeah.
just, if the weight's not falling off,
Yeah.
but like
It's not
not
as
like-
common. Not
it's
like
not like
daily
it's
practice.
not like these UFC fighters that are coming in the week of like fight week 20
Yeah.
pounds over and cutting all that weight.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be like that.
No. No, and I always looked at that like, and that even back then, like when you were wrestling, in
Yeah.
high school, like I always looked at, because there were some other guys that you trained with as well, and just having conversations with you guys about teammates and things of that sort. Like the guys who needed to cut 20 pounds
Yeah.
in a week, like never performed well. And if they did at the beginning of the season, they weren't by the end of the season.
Right.
Like,
I mean, you could have one little screw up,
hmm
be like 10 pounds over the night before.
yeah,
And then if you do cut the weight and you go out there, because we only get a 2-hour weigh-in.
right.
It's not like fights, like fighting, like MMA, where like you weigh in on Friday.
Fight
You
on
fight on
Saturday,
Saturday.
gain 30 pounds in the meantime.
I mean, I think it's even now like you wrestle at 11 o'clock, you weigh in at 9.
Yeah,
So you better be putting the right things in your body. And if you have one of those screw ups where you're like 10 pounds over the night before and you cut the weight, and then that's miserable. And then first match of the day, you get in a tough scramble, and then you're winded and you're like, oh shit, this is
Mhm.
going to be a long match.
yeah,
That alone should be like, okay, next time I'm gonna be a little bit more disciplined and maybe come in 3 or 4 pounds over the day before. Because for college kids, that's not that much. That's a practice.
Yeah, yeah.
But in high school, I'd probably say maybe 2 or 3 pounds the
You
day
know,
before.
dude, you're talking about a 10-pound water fluctuation
Yeah,
for a kid who's 126 pounds. Like,
yeah,
that's damn near 10% of your body weight that you're
right.
gaining and losing. Like, that's not just dangerous from a performance standpoint,
Like health.
health. Like,
Yeah.
that's not good for you. So,
So
like, being like you said, like you can make a mistake once, but that's a bullet,
you
and you only
better,
got so many
yeah,
bullets, man. You better
yeah,
save them for when you need them.
yeah.
You know.
I mean, I've heard like horror stories
Yeah.
of people cutting weight, like, and this was maybe not so much when I was in school, but like there's I've heard stories of like Daniel Cormier
Hmm.
at Oklahoma State, like dude was cutting like 10, 15 pounds the night before a match. Now he was a freak. He'd
Yeah.
go out there and kick the shit out of the guy.
Yeah.
But like, he'd eat like Popeyes after
Yeah.
weigh-ins,
Oh my God.
like Johnny Hendricks. Like I heard that dude, they wouldn't even allow him to drive himself to practice because he'd stop through on the drive-through.
Jeez.
Like, yeah,
It's just like dangerous levels
yeah.
of weight cutting.
I
It's
mean,
just
the worst one I had was my senior year. I graduate high school. 2 days later, I'm in Stillwater, and we're training until July like 14th to go to Fargo, and I'm making 132. I wrestled 132 that high school season
hmm
in Jersey. Um, I wrestled like 5 or 6 matches the first day, and I'm like, okay, I'm dropping like 2 or 3 pounds a match, like just pounding
hmm
Gatorade, water, and I'm like, I'm good, I'm good. Didn't realize the first 4 matches I ended in like 30 seconds to a minute, so I'm not really getting that
Right.
right. So I'm
Oh
like, I
yeah.
wrestled 6 matches, like I'm good. Step on the scale after, I'm 13 pounds over. And then tomorrow, the next morning, was the All American round, the blood round. So like, I win that match, top 8 in the country. I thank God for Coach Pollard at Rutgers. He was one of the
hmm
New Jersey team coaches. That dude, I put a sauna suit on. That dude did the whole workout with me in the middle of July in Fargo, North Dakota. It's like
Wow.
110 degrees. Ran around the campus, pull-ups, push-ups, jump rope. I was cutting weight for like six
Oh
hours
my
and I was
gosh, dude.
still 2 pounds over. I didn't go to bed till like 4 in the morning, woke up at 6, worked out again, made weight, won the match. I don't know how I won, but and then it
Unbelievable,
was
man.
and then after that I was like, I need to get this shit under control
Yeah.
because that was bad. And then
Yeah.
in college, like the that next day I wrestled maybe 2 or 3 kids that ended up being uh NCAA All-Americans. But like I do that in college, and in college at that time it was a 1 hour weigh-in.
Mm.
So matches at 1 o'clock, you're weighing in at 12. So I was really like, I need to get this under control because every match, you're wearing Oklahoma State singlet, people are coming after you,
Yeah, yeah.
and like you can't have a shitty weight cut. And I'm not like one of those freaks like if I have
Yeah.
a bad weight cut, I'll be thinking about that weight cut.
Right, right.
Where like some guys would cut the weight and
It's just what they do.
be like,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
that was probably my worst weight cut ever.
Man, God, just like I just can't even imagine just the fatigue of
Yeah.
like just working out for six
And
hours,
it's not even like you could put
not
water back in your
sleeping.
system. I
Right.
mean, you could have like a half
Yeah,
a
but how
bottle of
much are you
water.
gonna rehydrate in an hour?
No, it's more for your mental.
Right.
So
What was wrestling at Oklahoma State like? How many years were you there?
7.
7 years.
So I redshirted and then did 4 year or 5 years and then coached there for 2 years.
Gotcha. So all right. So I have two questions. One was what was it like wrestling there? Two, what was it like living out there?
Uh, you want to start with living out
Let's
there?
start with living out
All
there.
right. It definitely a culture shock.
Yeah.
It was very slow compared to here. I guess
Yeah.
there it's normal, but
Right.
just the people and like their accents. The food was great.
Yeah.
I mean, top notch,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
barbecue and stuff. It was definitely a culture shock because like people would say like I have a heavy accent, and then I'd come here and people would say I have an Oklahoma accent. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
But no, it was cool. The people are really nice. They're very like God-fearing people.
Yeah.
You know, church every Sunday. Our team held a Bible study. Um, but being so far away and in a different culture, it kind of made me a little bit like undisciplined because I didn't have like a regimented schedule other than lift at 7 a.m.,
Hmm.
class, practice at 3, and then
Yeah.
after that I was like, the hell do I do
Yeah.
out here?
That's like going to college for the first time for a freshman. That's hard enough for somebody who's not playing a
Right,
sport, let alone a sport that's the
right,
Division I sport,
right,
let alone wrestling at Oklahoma State,
right,
right? So that combined with being in a completely different part of the country,
right,
you don't know anybody really,
right.
and you don't even understand. Like again, I'm sure you never had Bible study with at Watchung Hills,
No,
you know what I mean?
no,
So like,
no.
so that's a lot for a 18-year-old
Yeah,
kid to
yeah,
to not to not be able to fall into a routine right away
right.
is a totally normal thing, but
And that's how like my dad was like just, hard nosed guy, great guy, but
mhm.
he's like, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think I know how to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like I know what you're saying, but
yeah,
like I can't. It was hard for me to put the pieces together. And in college, I was so undisciplined, man.
yeah.
Like, not saying I would have been like an all-American or anything, but like, I was like, oh, go out, have a few beers. I'll go out,
Be a
whatever.
college kid.
Just be a college kid, and I'm like, not really affecting my practices. But later on, it was like, okay, like
Yeah.
well, I started traveling with the team. I was like, it felt like, because the first 2 years, I was like, doesn't really feel like I'm on the team. Like, I'm here. Am I a practice dummy? The guy in front of me was two-time national champ.
Hmm.
And then the 133 pounder came up. He was a two-time All-American, probably the greatest wrestler that I think anyone's ever seen or wrestled before.
Hmm.
And I have teammates that are three-time national champs that will say the same thing. This
Mm.
kid, K Brock, was the best wrestler I've ever seen in my
Wow.
life. And dude had three ACL surgeries, two on one knee and one on
Mm.
the other, and kind of affected his career, but he was still whipping the shit out of people. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you tie up with him, he's ducking you by, sliding you by, like, you stay from space,
yeah.
boom, blast double. Like, you couldn't stop him.
Was it kind of like a reality check for you to be seeing that?
Oh, dude, it was like wrestling there was like, to some guys, like, if some of my former teammates hear this, like, unless you were the top in the room, like, every day walking up those stairs, it was like,
Mm.
slap yourself in the face, like, it's
Yeah.
time to fucking go.
Because you're
Like, you
going
got to
from
protect yourself in there, man.
Yeah,
Like,
because you're going from being like, and I think that a lot of athletes deal with this when they go to school for the first time, especially if
yeah,
they're going to an environment like
yeah,
that, where it's hyper competitive, and now it's like you were one of the best. You've always been the best
yeah,
in the room,
right.
and now you're going into a room, you're the youngest, the
And
most
not the best.
inexperienced,
Yeah,
you're not the
right.
best, and you're in a completely new world that you're uncomfortable with.
Yeah,
So like I guess you said that you weren't as like if you were to look back, you weren't as disciplined as maybe you should have been,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Relatively speaking, because
Right.
obviously like you don't get through 7 years,
No.
right?
Right.
Being down there and like
Right.
being in that program without being disciplined.
Right.
I want to be clear on that. But I guess, if you were going back and you're an 18-year-old kid and you're going back for the first time, or an 18-year-old kid who's going to, you know, wherever to go play baseball in the fall,
Yeah.
for the first time, what would you tell them to prepare for something like that?
Discipline. Discipline, and whatever you got in the tank, just let it out.
Hmm.
Just go. Diet good, social life good. You're in a relationship that's not good, get the fuck out.
Hmm.
Go to class.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just it's so much easier to have confidence in what you're doing if you're waking up every day with a win.
Hmm.
Or, you know, okay, I've lift at 7 a.m. I wake up at 6, maybe eat a little something, coffee, whatever, get a good lift in, show up
Hmm.
15 minutes early. That's your first win. You
Yeah.
have a great lift, that's your second win. You get time, you get to class on time, you're good. And you just keep kind of stacking
Yeah.
them like that. And then after you're done with all that, you got to go to practice. Now this is what you're here for.
Yeah.
and school.
And
But like,
yeah, yeah, but yeah, no, like, and because you're gonna take your lumps.
right.
And for a lot of guys, like what I've seen, because I've been doing this for, gosh, a long time now. So I've seen a lot of kids go through this, right? And you're one of the ones where I look and it's like, man, like you made it through.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys don't make it through
Right.
because they're taking so many lumps.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're taking more lumps than they should at that period in their life. It's just that
Right.
they've never taken lumps before,
Right.
right? And they don't know how to respond and they don't know how to shift the mindset, you know, and
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's easier to respond in wrestling because you can actually get your fucking hands on
yeah,
somebody, you
yeah,
know?
it's
But
true,
like,
man.
I mean, if you want to talk about lumps, like first 3, 4 months in that room, I didn't score a single point.
Mm,
Like I couldn't. I mean, my training partner was this guy who's returning NCAA finalist, Josh Kindig.
mm,
I was a 41 pounder, probably should have been at 33. He was every bit of 149,
yeah,
and this dude would beat the shit out of me every day. The dude could have taped $100 bill to his leg. I couldn't touch it.
really.
I'm telling you, like, it got to the point where I had to get really physical. I knew I was giving up a takedown, but just knowing that I wasn't going to back down,
Yeah,
like, hard club, throw an underhook, maybe catch him in the stomach.
yeah,
Like, just let him know I'm here. Like, I couldn't do anything.
yeah.
And then we do like 20-minute match of like takedown cut, take me down over probably 60 times. Cut me, put me into the wall, keep me on the wall. I'd get off the wall, he'd blast double me into the wall. Like bad. And then Coach Smith would have us go like a 10-minute go on bottom and then a 10-minute go on top. He started off on bottom because he's a better guy.
Hmm.
I think I held him down for like 5 or 10 seconds and I was just hugging his leg and he
Yeah.
was kicking away. Probably got out 100 times. And
Wow.
then when it was my turn on bottom, my face didn't leave the mat for 10 minutes. And he was like, got to the point where like maybe he couldn't turn me anymore. But then he was like, you got to protect yourself because he might try to hurt me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
not like try, but like
Right, but it could, I mean,
you
you're
could,
overmatched.
yeah. And it was like 3, 4 months of that.
Wow.
And then that one day I took him down because at first I was like, why the hell am I here? Like, what's going on? And then I was like, I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, I don't. He's like, get a new partner. I'm like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
The starter wants you. Like, that's how it is. And I was trying to figure out ways like, and I think it kind of helped me with my leg attacks and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And just like mental stuff aside, like I'm like, hey, maybe I can try this shot. Maybe none of them worked, but
Hmm.
like I was giving them
But it
different
forced
things
it forced you to try new
to
things
try to adapt.
and adapt.
Right. And I remember you can look it up online. He hit this move in the Southern Scuffle that it used to be like the biggest middle of the year tournament. Um, the dude had both like had him in like a front head, like almost like a DDT,
Yeah.
and he ducks under and picks the kid up and slams him, right? And scores a takedown. I took him down in practice the week before that. He did that same thing to me. That I took him down, he got away. The next sequence, he did that to me, lifted me up in the air, yelled power bomb, landed on my back, wind knocked out of me. He's like, "Get up." And I'm like sitting there, I'm like tears in my eyes, like
Yeah.
out of like couldn't breathe. And John comes up, Coach Smith comes up to me and goes, just I'm like laying on the ground. He walks over to me and goes, "Do you need a hug?"
Oh.
And I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, he's like, "All right, everybody walk." And I'm like walking around, like feeling sorry for myself, got tears in my eyes, not trying to show anybody that I'm like crying. And John's walking with me and he's like walking up to me like, "Want a hug?" And I'm like, he goes, "All right, we're going another go." I took the dude down 3 times.
Oh, let's go.
I mean, he still kicked the
Yeah,
shit out of
yeah,
me,
but
but like,
still,
and then
little wins.
you know, we did 2 miles on the track and I finished top 3. And I was like, okay, kind of getting
Was
something
that the
that,
day that
you know,
you kind of were like, I can be here?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
after 3 months of it.
But dude, like I think like do you For any athlete that is listening to this, do you understand how long 3 months feels when you're getting the shit kicked out of you every single day?
Dude, it felt like a year.
Yeah. So many guys would not have let that play out to the point where you come out on the other side,
Right.
right? You know
Yeah.
what I
I
mean?
think, but then again, going back to what you said, like we're a little different. Like wrestling is like, I don't know what it's like to get the shit kicked out of me in baseball or
Yeah.
maybe football. You get hit.
Mhm.
You're just having like continuous practices where you're just getting beaten down. But I think that's kind of the mindset that you have to have, at least for wrestling.
Yeah.
And I think if you can have that wrestler's mindset for other sports, you're gonna go really far.
Yeah, well,
You know?
because it's maybe it's not getting the shit kicked out of you physically, but it's failing. Like, but being
Yes.
willing to go in and not have a win,
Yeah.
like every day, and being and having and adopting a mindset where it's like since I'm not gonna the reason I'm here, I'm not gonna have any wins over here, so
Right.
I got to find my wins elsewhere. Waking up, having
Right.
my cup of coffee, getting my lift in, first win of the day. Like I love
Yeah.
that.
No, and I think like I wasn't getting wins in the practice room because I was going against the some of the top guys in the country, just in the practice room. But in the redshirt years, in the redshirt year, you go to like an open tournament,
Hmm.
and there's some D2 kids, D3, and then Division 1 kids in your bracket, and I was beating starters from other schools.
Hmm.
Like I mean, my first real college wrestling match, I wrestled this kid. I forgot his name. Um, he was from I'm drawing a blank on the school. One of our female coaches for the high school went there. McKendree
Okay.
College or something like that. This kid was a senior, every bit of 141. Um, and he was a 2 or 3 time Division 3 state or a national champ.
Hmm.
And I wrestled him, and I'm like, okay, like Division 3 kid,
Hmm.
those kids are
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And he came out, took me down, slapped the cradle on me, and I'm down 5-0 like that.
Hmm.
And then he started like pushing me out of bounds and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just like practice. I come out, I take him down. I cut him, I take him down. Next period, I go down. I'm down like maybe like 9-6, 9-7, and I push him out of bounds, and he clubs me on the side of the head, and I'm like, "What the hell was that?"
Mm.
And Coach Smith wasn't allowed to coach me because
Ah, because
I'm a
you're
red
registered.
shirt, and so I have some of my teammates coaching me, and I just heard him. I looked at the corner, and he's in the background. He goes, "You're not gonna take that shit. Go after him." And I started going after him, and there was like a minute left or something, and I take him down. I cut him, and I mean I ran out of time. The kid was better than me at the
Yeah.
time, but like I get off the mat. I'm like, finished that match pretty good. I mean, I lost. That sucks, but like okay, I can wrestle with these
Hmm.
guys, you know. And then I beat a starter from OU, and then I ended up taking third at the tournament, and I was like,
All right.
all right. So I was getting little wins outside of the
Right.
practice room, but I wasn't really getting any wins in the wrestling room.
So that kind of leads me to my next question because I want to, we've talked about it a little bit in our training sessions, but what was it like wrestling for Coach Smith? Like, do you think that he designed the wrestling room to be that way for guys
Yes,
coming in?
yes. And I just think it's the intensity of like that dude. I mean, he don't look like a freak,
Hmm.
but he's a freak.
Yeah.
Like this dude won 2 gold medals with like no ACLs or like a torn ACL.
Mm.
Like that takes a special mindset, and I think he was trying to instill that
Yeah.
into us, and just the intensity. Like on our technique days, he would show a technique, and we'd go back, and if he looked at somebody that did it wrong the first time, he'd bring us back in.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, you just showed it. Like, let us
Yeah.
work on it. And then he was like, no, you're gonna get it right.
Yeah.
And then it could be 30 seconds to 5 minutes from the time he showed it, he'd bring us back in,
Yeah.
and just focusing on details. And
Attention to detail.
yeah, and it was like even the technique practices that we had where it wasn't like anything tough.
Hmm.
It was more tough mentally to
Right.
try to do everything right. And then the days that he would walk in and say, "Hey, we're starting up here today." We're like, "Ah, shit, here we go, we're about to get after it."
Yeah.
But no, he's that guy. He's done so much to help me from the coaching perspective and just like for my mental,
Yeah.
because like in practice he'd be like, "You need a hug,"
Yeah.
and then after practice he'd be like, "Hey, Mike, like, what's wrong, man?"
Yeah. Like
Like,
actually,
yeah,
not sarcastically asking
right,
if you need a
right,
hug, but
right.
actually asking if you need a hug.
Yeah, no, he was great. We had a great coaching staff. I mean, Zach Esposito, he's coaching at
Yeah,
NC
he
State
was up
now.
here,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
his brother Dave was.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha, gotcha.
Zach would pop in probably throughout the summer at the
Yeah.
Edge. Um, just a great dude. Great, has a great family. Helped me out a lot because he was from Jersey, so
Yeah.
like it was kind of
That's nice, dude. That's actually
it
like
helps
that's
a lot.
huge.
It
Like I
helps a
forgot
lot.
that you kind of had that out there
You
because
know,
having
'Cause-
one person get you
right.
can go a really long
I
way.
mean, and then my sophomore year, my redshirt freshman year,
Hmm.
my second year, I had my buddy Nick Piccinini come
Hmm.
in. He's from Long Island,
Yeah.
so kind of the same thing.
Same thing. Italian kid.
Kind of. But no, I mean it was good having Espo there because he was always like random Thursday night, be like, "Hey, come over, we're gonna make some pizzas." I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go make some
Yeah.
pizza," Like it was good.
Yeah.
But just like going back to the room, it was like you walk in the locker room, you're like maybe feeling a little tired mentally or physically, like you're sore. Start lacing up your shoes. You're looking at the time. You're like, all right, 10 minutes and this shit's about to kick off.
Yeah.
Like, better get ready to
Better get ready to
fucking go.
go.
Yeah. And that's what I think separates wrestling from other sports is like knowing that you're going to be tired and you can possibly get your ass kicked is
Yeah.
like very like you have to be because if you're getting your ass kicked and you got wind, you're like, okay, I'm still good. You start getting tired and you got dudes hanging on your head and you're like, this is this sucks.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do about
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Go home?
it? No,
Yeah.
no.
Can't happen.
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna like me telling the story, but my best friend, Christian Ball, he
Could have just not said his name,
no,
but
I'll say his name. I'll call him out. It was a really funny story. He gets in a fight in the room with one of the guys, and the coach is like peel him apart, and the kid comes back and hits him, and Christian just walks out the room. And this is from what he told me. He walks out the room, and Coach Smith chases him, and he's like, "Ball, what's wrong?" He's like, "I'm fucking sick of it. I'm done. My fucking hand hurts, whatever." He's like, "I'm tired," and he goes, "Hey, just come back in the room. You're good." And he's like, "By the way, don't you ever fucking leave my wrestling room again." Right? And he's like, okay, But like, dude, it was one of those rooms that
Yeah.
like fights broke out all
Yeah.
the time. What is one guy that maybe is doing so much and the guy's kind of running away from him and he starts getting pissed because he can't score and he's beating the crap out of the guy and he just starts throwing punches, or it's one guy that's so tired and maybe broke a little that the only thing that he has to do to
It's
defend
just
himself is to just start fighting.
yeah.
It's like
Crazy.
it's definitely going from that to like the workforce was like I was like, "Ah, I
Yeah.
hate this. Like
Yeah.
I want to be back in that kind of
Well,
stuff."
and you are going back into something
Yeah.
that's not necessarily the same, but
No, it's along the same mental
yeah.
toughness
So
lines.
let's
So
talk about that a little bit. So we worked together for like 3 years when you're in high school,
yep.
right? I'm a kid at the time,
Yeah.
right? I probably owe you some money because I don't know what the fuck I was doing back then as a coach, right? But we got it done, and I think we
Yeah.
got some good work
That's
done.
right.
But I definitely didn't know what I was doing at the
Right.
time. Stay in touch a little bit when you're in college, but
Yeah.
ultimately, like you're out there,
Yeah.
So I probably don't hear from you. We probably don't talk really other than like a happy birthday or a
Yeah.
little hit what's up for gosh, probably 10 years,
Yeah.
right?
Just
Like
about.
just
Yeah.
about, right? So
Yep.
it's probably about 10 years don't, go by where and we were tight,
Yeah. Yeah.
we
It was like
we were
we
tight.
could see each
You
other
were
after
my
10 years and
yeah,
just
you were
like
my guy.
yeah.
We spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time
Yeah.
together. I don't think people understand like when you're working with an athlete or you're working with a
Right.
trainer, like dude, you're talking about 3 hours a week.
Right. But that also builds a lot of confidence in myself. I don't know really what it did for you, but it definitely like I'm like, okay, I got a good support system.
Yeah,
Like I'm right where I need to be. Now I just got to go out and execute.
right.
Like that's kind of like my dad always told me like growing up, he's like, surround yourself with the right people and I'll help put you with those people.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were a kid at the time, but
Yeah.
I mean,
But I also, yeah, like
it was good,
I
dude.
think that, for me it was an experience for me where it was the first like high level athlete
Right.
that was young,
Right.
right? Because I've been working with some of like the pro guys at the time and some of
Yeah.
the combine guys, but like in a secondary role.
Right.
Now it's like, all right, I have a young athlete that's like asking me to, play a real role
Yeah.
in their journey. And so that was like a big responsibility for me at the time. And I took it very, very
Right.
seriously. And I always, with any of my athletes, I take that role very seriously, not just the X's and O's of the training, but
Right.
like, all right, what do you need me to be for you?
Right.
Right? Like, what role are you asking me to play? And for some athletes, it's just like, hey, on the training floor, that's your job.
Yeah.
Cool. Others, just like, dude, like, I need help with other things, or hey, can I
Yeah.
talk to you about what's going on in school or whatever,
Right.
But that's always the way that I looked at myself as a coach, just like,
Yeah.
the role I play for you today is different than the role I played for you back then,
Right.
which is different than the role maybe I played for some of your training partners,
Right. Right.
right? Because that's ultimately my job. It's like
Yeah.
whatever you need me to be for you, if I can fill that role, I'm going to do it. And if I can't, I'm going to find somebody who can,
Right.
right?
Right.
But so we go about 10 years,
Yeah.
kind of disconnect a little bit, and all of a sudden I get an Instagram DM, Mike Magaldo. I'm like, what the fuck does this guy want? What does this guy want? You want to maybe tell the people what that message said and what you're doing now?
Yeah. So I'm training to be an Army Ranger.
Yeah, man.
So it's something I always wanted to do when I was younger. I was watching all those movies about like SEALs and stuff, and
Yeah.
always wanted to be in the military. And just me and my dad would always watch like war movies and
Yeah.
stuff. And not saying it like glorified it for me, but like I always looked up to through my wrestling career wrestlers. And then I started listening to some podcasts with some of these like special operators and stuff and just like their mindset. And it really like I look up to those guys like a lot. Like not just because they're the bravest people in the world, but like and the respect part, but like their mindset, like to me it was so like I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Whether I'm going into the military or not, I want to be like that so I can translate that to a job or um with a relationship or just relationships with everybody like so I really look up to those guys and I mean that's always been my dream. I always wanted to be a SEAL,
Hmm.
but like I can't swim like those guys.
Yeah.
And like I mean I'm sure I could if I trained up for it, but I think the Rangers and what they stand for and how there's always the Ranger standard,
Hmm.
whether it's your first year in or your 6, 7 years in. They hold everybody to the same standard, and it's the best, most elite light infantry
Hmm.
unit in the world.
Yeah.
Like they're the best. I mean, you can get to your tier one guys like your higher ups like Delta or all that stuff, but um, the Rangers are I've always loved them.
Yeah.
And if I can be a part of that, that's like that's like right now that's like me winning a state title back in
Yeah, man.
2012.
Well, I'll tell you what, like when I saw that message, I was like, this is first of all, it was like the least surprising thing in the world. Because even back then, like I remember, dude, check out this. You got to look on YouTube. You got to see this SEAL video. Like you
Yeah.
were into all that shit back
Yeah.
then too. But also like just knowing who you are and even as a kid, right? So now
Yeah.
you remember, like I'm remembering you as a kid,
Right.
right? But you can see like the man that somebody's gonna become,
Right.
kind of.
Right.
Even at that age, I think I was always able to kind of like, all right, this kid. Maybe he's a little goofy right now, but he's gonna grow up to be able to be X, Y, and Z,
Right.
right? Um, it was the least surprising thing in the world to me, and it was exciting to me too because I
Right.
think that that's such a good fit for you.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I
That's what I
mean?
think too. I think I mean, should I have done it like 5 years earlier? Probably.
Yeah.
But like, fuck it.
Yeah, man.
Like, let's do it. Like,
Right.
you
Like
know,
what? So then what? You wait another 5 years and then you regret not doing
and
it,
then yeah,
and then you can't do it.
right,
Like, and so that's what we're training for now,
yeah,
right? So and like and I told you, I don't take on a lot of one-on-one
right,
cases,
yeah,
right? It's like for a number of reasons.
right,
There's maybe you can count on one hand the amount that of situations where I'd be like, yeah, I'm
right,
taking this on. You taking this jump
yeah,
is one of them.
right,
So I was excited to get started,
yeah,
and now we've been working together for what, for like the last 2 months?
yeah, just
Yeah.
about, yeah.
So let me ask you this, right? So now that we're 2 months in,
Hmm.
obviously a little bit different,
Yeah.
right? But tell me, I guess, what are some things that maybe you've learned over the last 2 months that have been valuable for you? Like, tell me, and this is even not even for this, but just for me, like, what has been valuable in this process, this go around, 10 years after the first one?
I mean, training for a totally different uh, set of events, right?
Yeah.
So it feels very similar,
Mm-hmm.
just because I have a goal and I'm trying to reach it,
Yeah.
right? Um, but what's different is that like wrestling, it's a sport. This is real shit.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't just join the Rangers to sit around.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the working out,
Yeah.
like and the physical standards and
Right.
that, joining it to, you know, get in some combat
Mm-hmm.
if the opportunity ever, and to make a difference,
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I'm taking it a lot more serious and just being kind of real with myself. Like, that wasn't fucking good enough.
Yeah.
This needs to be better. And I I told you to get on me, So
Yeah.
like, and you have been, dude. And it's so different, but it feels it's weird. I don't even know how to
Yeah.
describe it, other than like I'm training for a goal and
Yeah.
trying to reach it, and um, I'm taking it very seriously because I mean, I'm gonna be in a class with a bunch of kids that are kids.
Yeah.
I'm 30.
Yeah.
These kids are gonna be like 21 to like 25, like
Yeah. You ain't gonna go
fresh,
in there and be punked by a
fresh and
couple 21-year-old
hell
baby
no.
face fuckers.
That's right. Fuck that.
Yeah, man.
So like, I'm making sure that like I can meet the standards at least 80-90%
Yeah.
before I even leave.
Yeah.
And I think it's huge just knowing that I can do it. Because I
Yeah.
think at first I was like, is my body gonna be good for it? Like, is my body gonna hold up after wrestling for all that time? Like, and then now I'm like kind of hitting some marks where I'm like,
Some cool shit,
I
man.
could fucking do
Yeah,
this,
it's been a very productive couple of months,
Yeah,
and just some of the
yeah,
progress that's been made.
absolutely.
And so one of the things that we've talked about a lot over the last couple of months, right? This idea of discipline. I
Yes.
want to talk about that a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Because we've talked about that, and often when people think about discipline, they think of, all right, well, I need to do more, right?
Right.
And that's most people.
Yes.
Most people need to be disciplined doing the basic things, like
Right.
eat half decent, exercise, don't sit on your ass all day, read a
Right.
fucking book. Like,
Yeah.
it's like doing
Something.
things, but
Yeah.
because it's doing the things that you would rather not do.
Right.
Whereas when you get somebody like yourself that comes from the world of wrestling, military,
Yeah.
so often the discipline is not in doing more because you're kind of wired to do more,
Right.
right?
And that's what you were kind of telling me to,
Right.
like, hey, I know it's really not in your code, but you gotta chill out a little bit.
Yeah. And when I say chill out, it's not for any reason. So like we talk about like the rucks and the runs, right?
Yeah.
Like the rucking and running.
It's tough.
There are times, right, where it's you got to put your foot on the gas pedal and go, because
Right.
that's the purpose of that run today.
Yeah.
The goal of this run is to run faster than I did last time. But there's also value in some of those lower intensity runs, right? And just
The zone
building more of
two
a foundation.
that I'm still
Exactly
trying to
right.
figure out.
Right.
You know?
And so it's an example of, where and you don't run into this frequently, but you
Right.
do run into this with high achievers.
Right.
You run into this with high level athletes where they're wired differently than regular human beings like myself.
Right.
For me, the discipline is like, I got to go do the work,
Right.
right? In others, where the kind of the basic setting is doing more.
Yeah.
Discipline is not doing more. Discipline is doing what you don't want to do because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
It's doing the thing that you need to do instead of the thing you want to do.
Right.
And some people, weirdos like yourself, the want is always trying to do more,
Yes.
where the need is sometimes doing less.
Then the fatigue goes up when I start doing more.
Exactly
I'm
right.
not-
And then
I'm not getting what I need to get out of it.
because then it starts to negatively impact performance, right?
Right.
You know, where it's
Yeah.
your go, go, go. It's like, all right, cool. I only have a 3-week window where I can make any kind of tangible progress here because I'm
Right.
beating myself into the ground.
Right.
Whereas instead of maybe 2 days a week, those being high intensity runs or high intensity rucks, bring them
Right.
down a little bit. Now I can stretch out my progress to 6 weeks
Right.
before I need to, take a little deload or something like
Right.
that.
And I think that's helped. I mean, the running, I'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
The rucking is what cripples most people.
Yeah.
Because when I first started out rucking, I was like, I just did 4 miles and the standard is 12. I'm like, my shoulders and my legs are toasted right now.
Yeah.
And then I started just kind of putting it on and doing regular walks, and then I found like an interval that like I'm good. Like that ruck the other day that I hit was like the best I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like there's some dudes in there that are just going to straight go and hit a 12-minute pace for 12 miles.
Yeah.
No, you go a minute 30 fast, a minute break, and you do that, and you're at about a 12, maybe 13-minute pace, depending on how fast you're running. And then just carrying it around, not even going high intensity with it. Like my shoulders were fine. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, your body's going to adapt.
Exactly.
But it's the mental part where you're like, mile 5.
Yeah.
Shit.
Mhm.
Like under 3 hours. I mean, it's not easy, but again, you got to train smart.
Yeah.
You can't just put the rucksack on and go for
Yeah.
3 hours and be like, oh, I only did 8 miles. Like, this sucks.
Right.
You're not supposed to do that.
And there's a difference between training and testing, right? So like when
Yes.
you go into basic,
Yeah.
right, or when you go into any of your training, it's like that's the competition.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, all right, now there are no more governors on this. It's go, right? There is no opportunity to say, I'm going to bring it down a little bit today.
Right.
But that's the game, right?
And I think basic's a little, like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, basic training. It's like, no, like if I'm going to be the best soldier that I can be, I got to be able to take everything that I learned in basic and then have a better version of me in advanced individual training. And then I get to go jump out of planes, which is pretty cool. But then I need to take all of that and apply it to RASP, which is where the shit's going to get real.
Yeah.
And I think I work well in those environments.
Yeah.
Because you see one person quit or get let go and it like gives you like a little boost and you're like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm still here.
Gosh, man, I hope that there are some young athletes that are listening to that right there. And because like it is so easy to, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Right. I hear you say that a lot.
I say that every day.
Yep.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Right.
And like how you approach, listen, maybe you are well trained to be able to, breeze through basic, but you're not going to, because that is ultimately a foundational stepping stone to whatever it is that you're going to be down the road.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
and at the next level.
You can't like put half-ass into basic.
No.
There's no point in doing it.
No.
Like what, especially like going like, maybe if your job's different and you're not in like active duty, like on the ground, gun in hand, soldiering. If you're going for like to be a mechanic or I don't know. I don't really know, but like, why would you look past that?
A lot of people do, Mike.
And and that's the same thing with like kids in practice. Like their first, they develop bad habits.
Exactly.
And it's like, now take that to the highest extreme where you could lose your life over it. But I think if everyone has that approach to where like, if I don't do this, I'll die.
Right.
It's gonna go far.
For sure. But dude, like it's so many people don't realize that when you don't adopt that mindset of, maybe not like, I'm gonna die if I don't do this, but how you do anything is how you do everything.
Right.
That every day that you go in and you half-ass something or you don't take something seriously because you're just checking a box.
Right.
So many people are just checking boxes.
Right.
I look at, if you're a baseball player, the way that you have catch when you're warming up, it's like I remember we used to play a game
Mm-hmm.
when we would just be warming up where it's like, all right, if you hit somebody in the chest, it's 2 points. Here's 1 point, 1 point,
Okay.
1 point, 1 point, 0 points if you were outside of that,
Right.
and first one to 21 wins. And that sounds so stupid. But what that does is it forces you to be deliberate in your practice.
Focused.
Focus in your practice. There
Yes.
is a purpose to what it is that you're doing. And I'm of the belief that everything that you do should have a purpose.
Yes.
If not, it's too easy to half-ass.
It's like going through the motions.
Right.
Right.
Right. And listen, we're all human beings. So if you're just going through the motions, you're not going to bring that focus every single day,
Right.
even if you have a really disciplined mindset.
Right.
So how do you create some sort of process to inherently focus you in on what it is that you're doing, right?
Right.
And then that's how you get to show up so by creating a game,
Yes.
it now applies focus, even if I'm not coming in 100% today. All right, I'm still just going through my warm-ups, I'm focusing on this thing,
Right.
trying to be accurate with my throws,
Right.
right? And I just think that a lot of people miss that. And when they don't realize is when they are just showing up and checking a box for the stuff that's kind of easy or fundamental or basic,
Right.
that every single time they do that, they're lowering their ceiling.
Right.
Because
right.
now you're creating a smaller foundation that you're building on.
Yes.
And the more that you can widen that base at the basic level, the easy quote unquote level, the wider base, now you have more opportunity to raise that ceiling as you continue to rise up the ranks. So I love that.
Yeah, and I mean it's the same thing like with like coaching wrestling. Like my best guy, shout out Anthony DeAndrea. Like and Cameron Sans. Can't forget him. But sometimes like the first 30, 40 minutes of practice, like we'll just focus on stance. And after 15 minutes of it, they're like,
Yeah.
what do we do? And I'm like, you're going to college to wrestle, like
Yeah, man.
you don't think you're gonna be doing this?
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be what like you need to do this.
Yeah.
Like at Oklahoma State, we did footwork drills for the longest time.
Yeah, man.
And like being able to not cross your feet, stay in your stance, stay disciplined. Like you look at the highest level of wrestling, the guys that get tired in the Olympics or the Worlds, they come out of their stance walking home without a medal.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
basics.
Yeah.
The fundamental things done so well. The things and that's the thing, is like a lot of these fundamentals, regardless of the sport, you probably work on them every day at some level.
You do, but you realize that how some guys look at it, it's like, I learned this my first day of wrestling.
Exactly right.
It's like, why do you think you learned it your first day of wrestling?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And just because you learned it doesn't mean that you own it.
Right.
Right. So it's about owning it. And then when you can own it for 15 minutes, can you own it for 20? Can you own it for 30? Can you
Yes.
own it for 60?
Right.
Right? Just because you feel like you have some level of mastery over these fundamentals does not mean that you don't continue to get better at those fundamentals.
No, you got to keep working on them.
Right.
And that's the same thing with just about, I think, anything in life. Like you can't be like, oh yeah, I learned that when I was 6.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, why does your stance suck now?
Right.
It's because
Yeah.
you're not working.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't suck relative to all these high schoolers, but you go to college and it does suck
And you're
relative
gonna
to
get
college.
exposed
Yeah.
real quick.
You see, I see it all the time.
And now we got to backtrack.
Yep. Now you got to go
Fix
backwards.
that problem.
And now you got to go backwards at the expense of going forward in other areas.
Right.
And it's just this trap that you see all the time with young athletes, man. And you want to just shake them, but you're talking, 16, 17-year-old kids, you want to
Yes.
shake them, right?
Yeah.
I got an hour with you. I got 2 to 3 hours a week with you. Like, please understand this one thing. If this is the one thing that you learn from this experience and working with
Right.
me, is that these simple things, the little things that you do every day, the way that you stretch,
Right.
right? The
Yeah.
technique in which you stretch matters.
It does. Everything matters.
Everything matters.
Yeah. And that's what I kind of learned from the Edge
Mm-hmm.
with Ernie.
Legend.
Legend.
Legend,
And-
legend, legend.
He's not teaching anything crazy. Good position. I mean, great moves,
Mhm.
but mostly position.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's like they don't want to sit through a practice and learn. They just want to go, 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 go. And it's like sometimes you get exposed, but we just worked on that position a week
Mhm.
ago.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't paying attention?
Yeah.
You got to be a student of the sport.
Student of the sport.
That's it.
Love it. I think it's a good spot to leave off, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
My man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, dude.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for doing this,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you.
Get back to work.
That's right.
Cool.